Welcome to my first video. I've seen a few of these challenges and I was inspired. The Clan Gen 1 year challenge is a story and art challenge from what I've gleaned. The premise is you play through 12 months of a warrior's clan and tell the stories of each of the cats. I'm primarily a pen and paper artist, so this Krita software is pretty new to me. Hopefully as I continue to use it, I'll get better at it. Without further ado, here is the story of Spiralclan. Link's face was Spiralclan's spirit guide. In life, she was the deputy of her clan, but died at only 21 moons of age. At the start of Spiralclan's journey, they were 138 moons in death. They gave Birdstem a life of unity, and they were a competitive cat that was a great teacher. Pumpkin Sprout was the first deputy of Spiralclan. She was cunning, a great climber, and a good teacher. Within the first moon of Spiralclan's existence, she hunted too close to two-leg dens and was taken by two legs, never to be seen again. It is assumed that she was made into a kitty pet, as she did not join the ranks of StarClan. Her loss devastated the clan, and it took a moon for Birdstar to admit that she was not coming back to her clan and to replace her as deputy. She was 72 moons old. You'll notice that throughout this, I do have a few cats that you don't see the drawing process of. I did forget to hit record on a couple of them. Just the whole one for the next cat. For others, it was just part of the drawing process got cut off, unfortunately. Wisteria Paw was the first apprentice to be made a warrior in Spiralclan in the first moon of its existence. When she joined and helped build the clan, she was insecure, quick to make peace, and very interested in the clan's history. She was apprenticed to Inkpuddle, and they were relatively close, but ultimately did not have much time to get to know each other. Inkpuddle influenced Wisteria Crawl to be more likely to follow the rules and be friendly toward others. When they graduated, they were honoured for their guardedness. When she became a warrior, Primrose Fox, the medicine cat, asked her to become a medicine cat instead, as she was showing signs of sensitivity to the wishes of StarClan. She adamantly refused, hurting him deeply. 3 moons into clan life, she received a deep wound on her shoulder from a trespassing rogue, and this resulted in her being stuck healing in the medicine den for the next 3 moons. While in the medicine den, she sought advice from Primrose Fox about Bittern Puddle. They were close in age, and Scorchheart, an elder, was pursuing her to consider him as a mate. She was on the fence about this. She wanted Kits, but didn't know if he would be a good match. Bittern Puddle happened to be in the medicine den soon after this confession from Wisteria Crawl, and she overheard Primrose Fox asking him about her. She felt double betrayed when Bittern Puddle confided to Primrose Fox without her knowledge that he had a mate already. Upon being released from the medicine cat den, she sought Inkpuddle's advice on the matter, who was surprised to hear from her former apprentice, as Wisteria Crawl always seemed to know what to do. Neither cat knew who Bittern Puddle's mate was, and Wisteria Crawl was surprised to find her heart broken. She sought comfort in the new medicine cat apprentice Houndpaw and moped around camp. She and Birdstar went on a border patrol, with Birdstar concerned about her. While patrolling, they came across a tree clan cat up a tree on their territory. The cat yelled a warning too late. A large dog came out of nowhere and killed Wisteria Crawl, with Birdstar being unable to save her. She died at 16 moons of age and was remembered by her clanmates for her skills in mediation and knowledge of the clan's history. Haykit was brought to camp as a newborn by Bittern Puddle, who refused to speak about where they came from. She was a bossy kit, being the only she-kit of her litter, but was quick to make peace between her 3 brothers. At 3 moons old, when the clan had been together for 10 moons, she convinced her brother Hopkit to come out with her and sneak out of camp. When their presence was noted to be missing, search parties were sent out. Hopkit was found, but he was unable or unwilling to recount what had happened to his sister. Her body wasn't found. Birdstar was the founding leader of Spiralclan. He is a cunning cat, great climber, and incredible runner. Their spirit guide Lynx's face gave him a life for unity and, not knowing any other deceased cats, was unable to make out who gave him the rest of his 9 lives. Throughout his leadership, he really has tried to keep his clan together, being constantly seen trying to sort out disputes, especially while the clan lacked a mediator, but even thereafter. He was sorely hurt by the disappearance of his first deputy, Pumpkin Sprout, whom he chose due to her immense skill with training her clan. It took him a moon to decide upon Grey Rip as the new deputy, with the old Grey Tom showing the same skill, albeit the grumpiness that comes with age. He was particularly concerned with the relationship between Ink Puddle and her apprentice Houndpaw, and often sat in on their training sessions, offering helpful advice whenever Ink Puddle became frustrated with her apprentice's second-guessing. He also had to play mediator between his new deputy Grey Rip and the elder Scorchheart, who slandered Grey Rip's ability as deputy. His efforts proved fruitful, and Grey Rip was inspired to take on the role of mediator as an elder in his stead, unfortunately resulting in Birdstar having to choose yet another deputy. The clan was dwindling in number, and with their only choice of deputy being between 3 cats, he chose Bittern Puddle as his new deputy. Ink Puddle was too indecisive and nervous to be deputy, and besides, was likely going to follow Grey Rip to the Elder's Den soon, and the young Tom was a much more charismatic choice than Wisteria Crawl, and well liked by his clanmates despite his young age. Primrose Fox is a strict mentor, but he's incredibly clever and can sense ghosts. He was the medicine cat appointed to serve the new Spiralclan due to his effortless knowledge of herbs and connection to StarClan. Early on, he saw the same trait in Wisteria Crawl and asked her to become his apprentice. She adamantly refused, which soured their relationship somewhat. He began spending a lot of time with Ink Puddle, and the two grew close. Through her, he began to know Houndpaw, who he would let help in the medicine den when Ink Puddle became frustrated with his progress towards becoming a warrior. He would eventually take on Houndpaw as an apprentice medicine cat, when the young Tom decided that the path of a warrior was not his to take. After Wisteria Crawl confides in Primrose Fox about Bittern Puddle, he asks about her when talking to him. Bittern Puddle confesses that he already has a mate, and that she isn't in the clan. He asked Primrose Fox to tell nobody, and so Primrose Fox promises not to, and the two remain very close friends. While gathering herbs, Primrose Fox finds a beautiful feather and gifts it to Ink Puddle. She confesses her feelings to him, and the two become mates for 3 moons. During this time, Ink Puddle decides to retire to the Elder's Den, and she and Primrose Fox fight about this. Primrose Fox wanted to have kids, but Ink Puddle simply says she's too old for that now. The two go their separate ways. Ink Puddle was a senior warrior when among the founders of Spiralclan. She was nervous but fast as the wind and a great hunter. She proved to be impatient with younger cats, and it isn't clear as to whether Houndpaw switched to medicine cat duties because it was what he was most suited to, or because of her mentoring. She's friendly with Bittern Puddle, Scorchheart and Primrose Fox, the latter two developing feelings for. However, despite Scorchheart's confession, she chooses to hold out hope that Primrose Fox may make a move on her, as she cannot have kids with another she-cat. After Houndpaw becomes Primrose Fox's apprentice, she becomes better friends with him since she no longer has to teach him. She becomes close with Sharppaw, as a young she-cat often helps Scorchheart with grooming and bedding replacement, and it is Ink Puddle who comforts her when she has nightmares. Before Wisteria Crawl died, she confided in Ink Puddle about overhearing that Bittern Puddle already had a mate. Wisteria Crawl had no idea who this could be, and Ink Puddle isn't able to help. She is ultimately saddened by the death of her former apprentice Wisteria Crawl, but seeks comfort in Primrose Fox, who finally gives her a romantic gift and becomes mates with her. Unfortunately, the courtship began too late, and Ink Puddle is too far ahead in years to begin a family with Primrose Fox. They argue about this and about her retirement to the Elder's Den, and end up breaking up over it. She realizes her feelings for Scorchheart haven't changed when her dear friend almost dies from green cough. They become mates officially when Scorchheart does recover. Grey Rip was a clan founder as a senior warrior. He was grumpy, but his excellent teaching put Bitternpuddle on the right path. He apprenticed Bitternpuddle and kept a good relationship with the young Tom. When the former deputy Pumpkin Sprout was taken, he succeeded her in the role. Scorchheart was skeptical of him as deputy and insulted him. When he tried to talk it out, she ignored him, and Birdstar had to act as mediator between the two. Greyrip respected Birdstar quite a lot, and this ultimately caused Birdstar annoyance, eventually snapping and telling Greyrip to stop padding after him and start making his own decisions. After a bout of heat stroke that left him in the medicine den for a moon, he did indeed do so, and decided to retire from warrior duties and take on the role of mediator as an elder. He and Scorchheart get along better now as elders, and though his mediation between the clan so far is limited, it has been slowly showing success, especially between Houndhusk and Sharpbellow. Bittern Paw was an apprentice alongside Wisteria Crawl. When he was young, he was charismatic, an avid playfighter, and quick to make peace. He was apprenticed to Greyrip, who was an excellent teacher to the young Tom, and he quickly became a good fighter. When he began to show signs of bloodthirstiness towards battle, Greyrip taught him to resolve arguments without fighting and to follow the warrior code. However, his mentor's gruff personality rubbed off on Bitternpuddle, and he can come off as cold. He also has great skills at mediation. While Birdstar was at first perturbed by his lust for battle, he saw the growth in the young Tom and the asset he was going to be in the clan. He honoured Bitternpuddle for his valour when naming him a warrior. He was friends with Inkpuddle and Greyrip, and often spent his time with them. However, at some point he developed a relationship with the she-cat outside of the clan. He told only Primrose Fox about this while in the medicine den with heat exhaustion, and remains close friends with the medicine cat due to him keeping his promise to tell nobody about it. He did not know that Wisteria Crawl and Inkpuddle knew. A moon after Wisteria Crawl died, he was named deputy, and he brought 4 newborn kits to camp. They were clearly his, but he refused to admit they were explicitly and would not tell the clan where he got them from. However, he stayed in the nursery with them to care for them as they grew. It is assumed that their mother and his former mate is deceased and likely died in childbirth. Houndhusk was a 5-month-old kit when the clan was founded, and was apprenticed to Inkpuddle when her previous apprentice Wisteria Crawl graduated. She quickly lost patience for his know-it-all personality and ceaseless questions about clan history, and the two often bickered, especially when Houndpaw proved to not live up to his own claims of greatness. He struggled in his warrior training, constantly second-guessing his next move, and Birdstar essentially became his second mentor with how often he would sit in on training sessions to help Inkpuddle keep her cool. Eventually, Birdstar sat the 2 cats down and explained that he didn't think Inkpuddle was being very considerate of Houndpaw's needs and was considering changing his mentor to Greyrip. Houndpaw asked if instead he could become Primrose Fox's apprentice, since he had been helping him there for the last moon and found himself useful there. Houndpaw officially became the medicine cat apprentice, and seems to be where he belongs in this role. Inkpuddle is much more patient and friendly now that she no longer has to teach him, and the two reconcile their differences. Houndpaw received his medicine cat name of Houndhusk at 13 moons, and from Inkpuddle and Primrose Fox tutelage and personalities has been influenced to be more likely to bicker with others, make his own rules, and have a positive outlook on life. Primrose Fox praised him for his insight, as he knows much about the history of the clans now. However, his poor beginning to his apprenticeship still leaves him insecure about his abilities. When his friend Sharpbellow became a warrior, she asked if he wanted to be her mate. He was shocked and wasn't sure how to respond, and Sharpbellow did not take this well, resulting in an argument. Greyrip mediated the 2 young cats, and while they are not mates yet, Sharpbellow has not let go of the idea that it might still happen in the future. He was last seen speaking to a loner at the border, and when questioned, explained that the cat was a healer, and they were swapping remedies. Everyone loves Sharpbellow. Of course, she was the baby of the clan for the longest time, being only 2 moons old when the clan was founded. Her childish antics of impulsivity and play fights with the warriors never failed to make them purr. She was closest in age to Houndhusk and remained his friend through their apprenticeship, but was particularly doted upon by Scorchheart, whom Sharpbellow cared for deeply and constantly visited, begging for stories and using apprentice duties as an excuse to visit the old she-cat. When she was apprenticed to Bitternpuddle, Houndhusk gave her some rosemary to wear, and she still decorates her pelt with the scattered leaves. She was often seen helping others and exchanging friendly words with her clanmates throughout her apprenticeship. Bitternpuddle taught her that the best way to end a disagreement with an enemy is through tooth and claw, but to remain collected and friendly so that they don't happen in the first place. When she became a warrior, she was honoured for her insight. Clearly Birdstar didn't really know Sharpbellow, as the first thing she did was argue with Houndhusk over his inability to respond to her confession of her feelings. Greyrip did his best to mediate between the two young cats, and although they are not yet mates, and Sharpbellow feels insecure about being loved by him, she still hopes that one day they may grow to be together. Scorchheart was the clan elder. She was a good speaker and a good teacher. Secretly, though, she was quite insecure. She was a founder of Spiralclan, and she quickly was well liked by her clan due to her stories of history, especially among the apprentices. She developed feelings for Inkpuddle, and after confessing and finding out that Inkpuddle also had feelings, wanted to be mates. However, Inkpuddle told her that she wanted kits, and had eyes on another cat who might give them to her. They remained friends and close. She had a strained relationship with Greyrip for a time, and still feels some sense of annoyance. However, the two are ultimately friends now, from the time Birdstar put into mediation between them. She is especially close to Sharpbellow and Houndhusk, who were apprentices in the clan for the longest. Both young cats have immense respect for the old she-cat, who has been through much in her life. At 8 moons into the year, she developed green cough, and Inkpuddle never left her side. Inkpuddle told her that if she pulled through, they would become mates. This ultimately gave her the strength to fight her sickness, and the two are very much in love and secure in their elderly age. Erminkit, Petuniakit, and Hopkit were brought to the clan as newborns by their father Bitternpuddle, along with their sister Haykit, who raised them with no mother in the picture. Erminkit is a polite kid who is oddly insightful, but has a penchant for trickery with his brother Petuniakit. They got in trouble over the pranks on the elders and retaliated badly, souring his relationship with Primrose Fox and Inkpuddle. Erminkit thought it was incredibly unfair to expect that a kid at 4 moons of age be expected to help out with the clan when they weren't allowed to leave camp, and that there really wasn't enough to do to occupy their time. Luckily, Greyrip was able to speak to him, Primrose Fox and Inkpuddle, to help each other see from their perspectives, respectively. Petuniakit was a much quieter kid, who often played alone, but was quick to help his brother Erminkit with his antics of trickery. When Erminkit got in trouble with Inkpuddle and Primrose Fox, Houndhusk took Petuniakit aside instead to help sort herbs in his den. Hopkit was the complete opposite of Petuniakit. He was very loud, and he loved to collect things. But this habit prompted him to leave camp with his sister Haykit at 3 moons of age, when she convinced him that there was surely shiny trinkets in the shipwreck beyond the rise which could just be seen from the top of the Leader's Rock. He was found by his clanmates, huddled in a hole, and could not tell them what happened to Haykit, that he had seen his sister torn apart by a fox while he hid. That brings this year to a close. I apologise for my nasally voice. I am recovering from a cold. Any constructive criticism would be much welcomed. I really enjoyed making this video though, and I hope it brought you much joy. And I hope to see you again in the next one.